Welcome back, guys, for another Garage Gamers / Gamebug review, video review, whatever the hell this is. I don't know if you can see that it's a bit bright with the glare, but I'm going to chuck in some footage anyway of the Shadow of the Colossus remake. And I will say remake, not remaster, because they've done everything from scratch, redone all the graphics and visuals. It's not one of those stupid up-reses where, you know, still looks crap, but, you know, a little bit less jaggy. It's all redone. And it looks amazing. It's incredible. So, I want to talk a little bit about it. So the original came out on the PS2, and it was definitely one of those once-in-a-generation games where you play and you're like, wow, I've never played anything like this. And I think that still sort of holds true today. Playing it, it's just massive open landscape, which generally people are used to. But what's different about this is there's just these massive beasts that you have to track down and basically kill in order to, I guess, I'm not going to spoil it, save your girlfriend, or girlfriend or wife or friend or whoever knows. I'm not going to spoil anything. But basically you start off putting a girl on a pillar and these ghostly, godly spirits say that you've got to hunt down these beasts to basically bring her back to life. So that's the whole point of the game. There's not much dialogue, and the emotion and the context that comes from it is from the atmosphere and the music, and it's one of those games that you don't need a lot of talking to get a lot of story out of. And I just think it's incredible about that. So for a story-based game, like, it's minimal on what it tells you and what's happening, but it just invokes so much emotion. So, you know, it still resonates with me, so I would give that like a 5 out of 5, just based on just that emotion and that feeling that comes out of it. The music, again, I'd give that a 5 out of 5. It's got amazing scores, music that just sticks in your head, ramps up when you're in battle, got these sweet melodies you might be able to hear a bit. I'll show some footage again. It's just iconic music that just really fits the game. Gameplay, on the PS2 is a bit clunky, and, you know, it's definitely a lot more refined now. The whole point is to find a bit of hair, I guess, or a sort of like a ledge made out of rock on the beast. They're all like made out of rock and hair, and I don't know, they're weird looking. But just something that you can grab onto. So you got a button where you can just basically grab onto the beast, or the Colossus. And that just feels a bit more tighter, and, you know, climbing around and just navigating is a bit more tighter. It's pretty simple. I mean, you've got a horse, you ride on the horse, you hold up your sword, you got to find where the Colossus is, you hunt it down, and then it's basically sort of like a puzzle where you've got to figure out, okay, I know that generally it's going to be on the head or the back where a weak spot is, which you've got to target and attack. But the puzzle comes in the way that, okay, every beast is in a different location, every beast is different shape and size, they're all massive, and you need to figure out, how do I get to that point on that beast, Colossus, to take it down? And that's where the little challenges come in, and every single one is different from the other. You know, there's one where it's a flying beast, and you've got to somehow figure out how am I going to get on that, or one that's underwater, and all different shapes and sizes. And it's very unique. I've never played anything quite like it, and I can't fault it. I could have faulted the original because it was very sluggish. This one's got especially on the Pro, I'm playing it on the Pro, and it's got performance mode which runs at 60 frames. I think it dips a little bit, but not very noticeable. And then you've got, I think, a locks 30 frames in cinematic mode. But they both look amazing. I'm playing on a 4K TV, they both look great. So the performance is great on this, so I can't really fault it in that regard. And I feel like this remake has really made the game stand out even more so than it did on the PS2. Do I give it a 5 out of 5? I mean, I would say a lot of people will play it and be like, wow, this is bland, there's nothing here to do. And that's true, you only take down Colossus, you don't do anything else. But the feeling you get when you take one down is just amazing. I'd probably give it I'd say 4.5 out of 5. I mean, it's not the best, but it's such a great experience and a great game to play because it's not similar to a lot of things. And yeah, so music is outstanding. I've already said that. Visually, it looks like $1,000,000. The thing that stood out on the PS2 is there was no loadings, and there was these huge environments, and you weren't used to that. You were just used to constant loading. And the PS4 and the PS3, especially the Uncharted games, showed that there's a way to just do, I guess, like a big long load at the start, and then something's happening in the back end where you don't have loading screens. And that happens on this. This doesn't load. There is a tiny bit that once you take down a Colossus for a couple of seconds, maybe 10 seconds, it'll transport you back to the main area, I guess. Now, I guess that's a load of necessity because it's taking you back. You don't have to travel back there yourself. But you can seamlessly go throughout the whole entire map without any loading screens. So that's a marvel in itself. The draw distance is insane. You can see everything, every little detail is just crisp. Everything looks amazing. The textures are great. The use of color is great. HDR looks amazing on there. It really goes from, you know, you're outside and it looks pretty, and then all of a sudden there's these areas that just look grim and really dark, and it just has this really desolate tone, and it's just, I can't say enough things about just the entire package, because the music works with the visuals, and the visuals work with the gameplay, and just everything is spectacular. Visually, I'd say it's one of the best games, and I would say I'd give it a 5 out of 5, but again, you know, you're saying something like The Witcher looks amazing, but there's a lot of things happening, so there's only so far the graphics can go because they've got thousands of things they're animating, whereas this is not much being animated, so they sort of have that leeway. So, I mean, it still looks incredible, but you know, when you kind of compare it to something like a big open world where there's a lot of things going on, you know, you've got to make an exception. I would give it, I'd say 4.5 out of 5 because it looks stunning, but I'll just take that little bit of a hit because I know that it's not as demanding as some of these other games. And I think the lasting appeal is this is a game that you can finish, and there's time trials to do it quicker and all that sort of stuff if you want to go back. But it definitely leaves a lasting impression. It's one of those games that once you finish it, you want to show someone else, like a really good movie. You watch it, you enjoy it, and you think, damn, I need to show this to someone else. That's this game. Anyone that comes over that I'd want to show off like a really, you know, impressive looking game, I'd show them that. Anyone that I would want to show just something that has a great atmosphere and great music, and you know, I would show them this. And it's fun to watch because it's fun to have someone else there. It's not multiplayer, it's single player only, but what you have is a game where you can look at a beast and a friend can be watching and go, okay, let's work together. What do you think? How do you think I'm going to do this? Oh, maybe try that. And you know, you can work together to try and figure out the pattern and the puzzle. So I always found that really cool about the game as well. So the overall presentation is just spectacular. I mean, it's a game that I would love to go back to, and it doesn't take too long. Like, you're not going to be playing it for 20 hours. I mean, you could if you keep doing the time trials, but it's a game that you would want to go back and play just for that experience. And I mean, I've played it on PS2, I played it on PS3, and now I'm playing it on PS4, and I still enjoy it just as much. It's incredible. It's one of those masterpieces. Now, why am I not giving it a 5 out of 5 on our scale? It does lack in little things, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it is a true masterpiece regardless. So if you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. If you have played it and you got it on the PS2 and you think, well, why would I buy it? It's been long enough that I think you should play it again with these better controls, better frame rate, amazing visuals. It feels like they've taken it and just made it that bit better. And I think it's what you would remember it as, but times 2. So check out Shadow of the Colossus, and I hope you guys like this video. Please like, subscribe, do all that junk, and stay tuned to Gamebug. Bye!